Hello
Hey,
again, Gustavo. How are you?
hello. This time it's just us,
It's just us. It's very
us and Mary
intimate.
Meeker.
Very
Yeah,
Meeker. Yeah.
Mary
Introduce.
Meeker
Oh no.
in spirit. Yeah,
It's
shout
very.
out Mary Meeker. If it was a real
Come
Mary
on,
Meeker,
come on, come
it would be
on.
pretty cool. It would be our
Yeah.
first niche celebrity.
Yeah.
Not really a
Actually, we
celebrity, but
not
yeah,
really. Well known. Well known.
well known.
Uh,
Even though
we
I had
say
to
that.
explain who she was
Yeah. Yeah.
right before
Exactly.
we
Like
started.
where she came from, all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Honesty first.
So yes,
Yeah,
here we are again. How's your week been?
very good. Yeah, and welcome to Roadmap to Nowhere.
Yes, that's the bit that I'm
Yeah.
supposed to do, isn't it?
Yeah, no, good week. Working on my startup on cloudfit.ai. I'm gonna plug it every time I can.
Yeah,
So yeah, we just got funded. We're starting to hire. Super fun. Very cool. We're building
amazing.
cool stuff. So I'm very excited.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, as
And you?
you, yeah, I've been busy too. I've got a few irons in fires, I think is the
Nice.
phrase. Lots of things working
Nice.
underground at the moment. I'm hoping
Nice.
to kind of be able to talk about soon.
AI
Um,
related, I imagine.
AI related, yeah. I mean, I don't think anything
Yeah.
isn't at the moment. I can't think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was saying this to my wife the other night? Is that I think I've stopped thinking. I've
Yeah. Yeah.
substituted
Yeah.
thinking for like
Yeah. You
if AI
outsource.
can't do it, I don't do it.
Yeah. I
But
don't write anymore, for example. I just like, ooh,
yeah,
money, more money make, please. And then it comes up with an email.
this is one of the trade-offs is that the human condition becomes more and more, it
Yeah.
recedes more and more.
And by the way, when I started doing my acting, from your face, you thought I was having a stroke, right?
Yeah, I went for that. Yeah,
What's
exactly.
happening?
Exactly. But we ploughed on and we kept recording.
Yeah, the show must go on.
The show must go. Okay, Gus is
Yeah.
down. Can we mute his camera? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good week. I've been working with the new company, Flowered,
Amazing.
that we talked about
Plug it, plug
before.
it.
Yeah, love
We're gonna
that.
sell tons of
Love
flowers
them.
after this. Yeah.
Exactly. Gifting, flowers, all of that cool stuff. It's a really cool company actually, and I think is really in a good position for using some of the things that we talk about on this podcast. So
Nice.
yes, all good, all good. But we've got something to get through today, haven't we? So we've got a report to look at and some talking
Yeah. No.
points.
Yeah. This time
So,
we're not building anything.
no,
We are Vive reading a report.
yeah.
Uh,
Hello, is anyone still there?
and I was just thinking, so I watched, when this report just came out, and I'll explain why this is important.
Yeah,
But I was thinking, like, yeah, I watched a few videos that just came up with like a very polished
mm,
summary of the report. We're not gonna do that. We're
no,
just gonna improvise, and we're gonna look at the slides and be like, wow, like at the same time as
yeah,
you. Wow, look at the OpenAI.
yeah, yeah.
So
Numbers.
get
Oof.
ready.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Yeah.
looking forward to it. Yeah, I think this is what someone would call a fireside chat. Um,
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, well, let's
So
see if
so
we
yeah, let me
can.
explain.
Yeah,
Let me explain why this is important. So back in the day, like 20 years ago, when I started working on the internet, on tech companies, we used to get this like Mary Meeker Internet Trends reports every month or every quarter, something like that. That we all stopped and was like, okay, let's read what's going on, and we like would have just absorb all of the content. So this lady, she's like the queen of internet trends. A few years ago, she stopped because she started her own company. She used to work for Morgan Stanley and then Kleiner Perkins, and then she started her own, so she stopped. And now, because of all of this AI massive growth, she started doing them again. and she just launched one for like May 2025, and it's 340 pages, but super interesting. And all of the investors basically read this stuff and like follow whatever she says. Um, so it's a very good way to show what's happening, how things are moving. This lady predicted like a lot of things that actually happened later, like that mobile would grow more than desktop, that China would become like a tech powerhouse, like everything. She predicted everything because she's looking at the trends. She has a ton of info. So it's
Yeah.
super, super interesting.
And I think if you look at all the socials at the moment, they're all filled up with someone giving you some kind of commentary in some way. So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
um,
The
we thought we'd
reaction
do that.
videos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So basically, what we're gonna
Um,
do is gonna go through the slides and do a reaction to this. Oh,
340 slides, right?
yeah. So we're gonna take a few hours,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Strap in.
Go get your pop. Go to the bathroom now.
Yeah.
And go get your popcorn. It's like a road trip, kids.
Yeah,
Do it now.
exactly. Yeah.
Get your water. No, we're just gonna
Are
do
we
a
nearly
few
finished yet?
highlights.
No. Yeah. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go then.
Should we do it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I'm gonna show my screen. By the way, I saw she has a quote in the beginning, by Vint Cerf. Do you know who Vint Cerf is? No.
It sounds like he was in a, I don't know, like a
Surfing.
Ron Burgundy film or something.
Yeah. He's the one who goes like, "Woofa!" Like that's the Carell one. Loud noises.
Yeah, exactly. Internet. Ah.
Internet trends fast. Yeah. So Vint Cerf is like they call him one of the fathers of the internet. I actually got to meet him because he worked for Google. So he was like chief evangelist or something like that. So he came to our office in Argentina and he was like talking to us while having wine. Because he's like, "Oh, you guys have great wine, so I'm gonna have one while we're talking." So he's like sipping Malbec and he looks exactly like Freud, like Sigmund
Oh,
Freud. You
okay.
know, like same kind of.
Yeah.
Like, he looks exactly like him. So this guy invented like the TCP/IP protocol and stuff that is like essential for the
Yeah.
internet to work. So Mary Meeker starts the report saying that this guy, Vint Cerf, said that basically a year in the internet is like dog years. So
Yeah.
things move like 7 times faster, and AI is way faster.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll find the slides. We're gonna improvise finding the slides. So let's see how long it takes me to find the slides as we talk.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
I
things are going
obviously having been through the
fast.
report as well, the acceleration and growth of this stuff is like way off the
Just
charts, right?
insane. It's absolutely insane. And people don't like normal people. I was just talking to my brother-in-law who is in like pharmaceutical company, not related at all. And he's like, "Man, I hate this process that we have. Can you help? Like, is there any AI that can help me?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, like N8N and like go look at the templates." And he's like, "Man, I'm
Yeah.
spending hours on this." Um, People don't realize how much progress there's been already
I know.
and how fast it's going. Like we are looking at this stuff every day, like absorbing all the news. We see it, but most people have no clue. Like most people will have a hard time finding a job in a few years, I think,
Yeah.
um,
Uh,
because
they're
all of
not switched on to that now. Yeah.
they don't realize they're like, "Oh yeah, this cool thing." It's like, "Oh, Instagram." People are scrolling, and suddenly everyone is like, in the metro looking at the phone like a zombie.
Yeah. Yeah.
That happened like this. It's like like the boiling frog. The story.
Yeah. But
You know
now
the story,
now
right?
they're staring. Yeah. 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 But now they're
Uh,
staring at
if the
content
listeners
that's.
don't, I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah. You tell them. You tell them.
Just Google it, boiling frog,
Yeah.
or ask
Exactly. Yeah.
GPT. Yeah,
To summarize it for you.
yeah.
Um.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
Tell me.
No. No. I was just saying that people are now that they're now consumed by content that's being made artificially anyway.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, like I would love to see the percentage stats of what we are now consuming versus something that is actually real.
And what would be even more interesting is how much of it passes as like real
Yeah,
non-AI content, which I think
yeah,
is a lot.
yeah.
Like
I
I don't know if
actually
you, yeah.
I actually watched a podcast on using the NA10
Mm,
tool, and the guy went through a whole flow and created content using NA10 and also flowing into ChatGPT, etc., etc., etc.
mm,
And then
yeah.
he posted it. So he's actually outwardly saying, "I created this using using AI,"
Anything.
and
Uh,
then in the comments they were like, "This like people were coming up. This is really interesting. This is really making comments about observations and stuff." And then so that passed his validation test. But then
mm.
he went back to each one of those and said, "Now the question is this real or not?"
Yeah, yeah,
And
exactly.
like
Yeah.
it almost doesn't
I
matter.
love it. It's like um a video about NA10 made with NA10. It's like the snake that bites the Oros bolos that bites
Yes,
its own tail. It's
exactly.
like a never-ending loop.
Yeah,
Yeah, just self-promotion of NA10.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The only winner is NA10.
Oh, for sure. I'd bet on that horse.
Yeah,
Um,
we are, aren't we?
we absolutely are.
Yeah,
It's freaking awesome. Actually, today we were gonna show the progress. We're gonna show it maybe the next one.
yeah, yeah,
We managed to create some videos automatically. Super cool with the help of
yeah.
Noor, who one of our the podcast
You'll meet
friends.
soon. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So this, typical hockey stick growth.
yeah,
ChatGPT is basically dominating in terms of like brand perception and
yeah.
like consumer facing growth. They've grown 8 times since 2023,
Yeah,
which is pretty big. So in
yeah.
17 months, um, they got to 800 million users, which is very big.
I I think they got to 1 million users in 5 days, right?
Yeah, the
So
fastest by far. I think that slide is somewhere here.
yeah,
What is very interesting is this. So the progress of technology accelerates. So when it took how long is this? Several years for the internet to reach 50% of the population.
mm,
This is like 23 years, right?
yeah.
Then when you had mobile phones, it took maybe half. It took 3 years. Is that what I'm reading?
Share of total current users at year 3,
Yeah.
ChatGPT versus the
Yeah,
internet.
no, so it's not 50% of the population. Okay, never mind. Um,
So
that was
yeah,
another chart that I saw earlier. But you see the growth, how it goes compared to
I think
the
what I
internet. It's
see
crazy.
here is that people are substituting the normal search
Yeah,
for this tool.
yeah,
So it's becoming like we've talked about this before, but like when you say,
yeah,
"Can you Google something?" Like we haven't really
yeah,
quite nailed down what the verb is for
yeah,
ChatGPT. Yeah,
yeah. Like people used to say, "Can I Skype you?" And Skype doesn't even exist anymore.
yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna have to change the verb, possibly.
Maybe it's
Uh,
prompt. I've been using prompt a bit.
Prompt it.
I'm just gonna prompt.
Yeah,
Don't know.
yeah. I don't know. Well, let's try to see if we can like get people to use that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'll be our only
That's
contribution.
the cool way
Yeah,
to say it. Yeah, yeah. Coined by Chris Wallace.
yeah,
Uh, um, but yeah, so this is user adoption. How
yeah.
long years to reach 100 million users? And you see, Netflix took 10 years, Facebook 4.5, and these were like explosive growth companies. Look at GPT,
I know.
0.2. It's insane. So people are looking at this now and they're like, oh, in the current state of things, I have nothing to be worried about. But you blink and things change already. You blink again and things change even more. So
Yeah.
so get
I mean,
ready.
the proliferation of these tools as well. So you get the big ones, the well-known ChatGPT, Perplexity, all these kind of things, and
Yeah.
then you get the I can't remember the name of the one that's Facebook have released recently. But
Threads,
yeah,
is it? Yeah, yeah. The Twitter killer that didn't
yeah.
kill anyone. Yeah.
Um, where actually you're getting almost like subdomains with it of these tools as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's different when you have already a huge product and you're launching something and you have like that promotion engine,
Yeah,
right? GPT didn't have anything. Like no one, like we knew about OpenAI because we used it, our SEO team used to use it to create content. They were
yeah,
using like earlier versions. But it was like obscure.
yeah,
And suddenly it grew like this, like organically. So it's
yeah.
not there's no campaign from a Google or a Meta to promote it. That's like way more valuable. Uh,
What this made me think recently was, in product development, we talk about reducing friction and all that kind of stuff for the user, make
yeah,
it easier for the user to complete
yeah.
whatever their job to be done is. What this says to me is it just proves beyond all doubt that if you make someone's life easier,
Oh yeah,
they will drop everything for it. So it
for
doesn't
sure.
even
Yeah,
really, I mean, matter what necessarily the quality is. Is the reason why this has grown so fast is because all it's done is it's made your life easier.
yeah. And also it reminds me a bit of like when everyone was using Yahoo or AltaVista and then
Mm,
suddenly Google came out and it was like just a search bar, like super simple. Like GPT
yeah,
is like it's a search bar. It's super
yeah,
simple. Like there's no learning curve. You just like okay, just try it,
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's pretty cool. There's
Yeah,
a thing here I mentioned before how like the growth of technology accelerates. So these colors represent different decades or years. So this is like
wow,
2000 to 2005. You see how in the last one it's
yeah,
accelerating, right? So it's smaller. The different colors are smaller. That's because
yeah.
growth accelerates. And then, so there may be a new one, maybe my company, let's see, or some company in the future that's gonna be like half of this or smaller.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, again, how many days it took to reach 1 million users? So cars, okay, they were super expensive. It took 2,500 and 5 days. It's crazy.
Just on that though, like the way this reads is like these are the other three things are products, right? They're a spend of some sort. Do
Yeah.
you do you see this as like a natural what you would classify as a product? Because for me, it's not really in the same category. It's actually it's more of a service or something like that as opposed to something you decide to go and buy.
Well, I mean, so it's for free. It's like it you can compare it more with Google than with a Model T,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Um, they had zero monetization as far as people knew back then.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, it's not a fair comparison to be honest.
It just shows that it
I don't
shows the
think this is
speed.
yeah, yeah. I don't think this is
Mm.
the best Mary Meeker slide. So
No,
let's
but
let's go and
there was
find others.
one stat. I don't know if we're going to come to it in a minute, but it's something like
Yeah.
DeepSeek took 4 months to generate
Mm.
something like 54 million monthly
Yeah.
active users. Like it's
Yeah. DeepSeek this DeepSeek is also like there's already huge buzz around OpenAI, and suddenly
yeah,
they come with something super impressive, cheaper, and also it's in China, so there's all that conflict. So it
yeah,
was a very good story. So
yeah,
they got like a lot of recognition, and I mean the
yeah,
report talks quite a bit about China because there's a huge race between China and the US for
yeah.
like to get to AI dominance in a way. And if you think
Yeah.
about it, like even people in Silicon Valley who are building key AI things, a lot of them are Chinese.
Hmm.
So like a lot of the
Yeah.
talent comes from China.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah,
Who's really winning,
it's
eh?
just weird.
Who's really winning?
Yeah, yeah, no one is.
Yeah.
So Nvidia is the on the kind of usage. Sorry, on the where am I? The use of GPUs. You see how there's a massive growth between 2021 and 2025. So there's a lot of like investment on this.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know where that is now. But um, the most important thing is like the cost per performance is increasing a lot. So it's cheaper to get the tokens now. I can't find the slide now,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So,
Um,
hang on. So what we're saying is the amount of investment that's going into this is increasing,
it's
like in a
astronomical.
huge way,
Yeah.
but the kind of cost benefit from that is way in favor. So actually, the that it's getting cheaper and cheaper, um, the more
Yeah.
investment that you put into this.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So people are putting more and more money. There are even models that they're saying are because you have a lot of the AI companies do these foundational models where they build the
Yeah.
model and train it from zero. It costs millions of dollars to do that,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of the companies that basically use these existing models to build something else and repurpose and so on, which is a very valid, case, and it's there's a lot of the value will come from those companies.
Mm.
Now they're saying that there are some foundational models that will cost up to $1 billion to create.
Oh.
So you can imagine already, um, yeah, the scale of these things.
Well, yeah, and also the confidence that the owners of these companies have in where this is going to put that kind of
Yeah, yeah. I
resource
mean,
into.
everyone's investing in this. It's quite crazy. Yeah. So going to agents, um, agent agents was supposed to be like the word of 2025. So everyone on this AI conference is talking about agents because basically
Yeah,
you want to move from an AI you can talk to and can help you like um, come up with ideas and copywriting and stuff like that to some AI that can actually do things. So that's
yeah,
basically the agent. So perception on agents increased a lot. So the Google searches grew 1000%. So nice.
yeah,
um, and a lot of the companies, like the incumbent companies, are already working on some agents. Like Salesforce has Agentforce, Claude, one of the foundational models, launched computer use, which is impressive, but also it's very expensive to run. So it's like an
yeah.
earlier version. Same with OpenAI Operator. Amazon has Nova Act, which I've never
No,
tried.
no, neither.
And there are a few others, no, like Manus and all of these. GenSpark, they're quite cool. They can like basically browse the web and do things. So you can save a lot of time. They're still fairly raw, but all again, these things move really fast.
In the world of Terminator, um, the agent is the machine,
Which
right?
we might be in already. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about this, like,
Uh,
because like I'm definitely we're very aligned in, right, we're excited about where this is taking us, from the capacity to
Yeah.
build businesses and all this kind of stuff, make work more efficient, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
But if you were to watch this film right now, and
Oh yeah.
we were like a clip in the film, hey, these two guys are making a podcast and they're advocating for this, like you would be screaming at the screen,
Yeah.
go back.
Don't do it. And
Yeah,
someone,
exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
You know this saying. There's this
Yeah.
saying in theater where if there's a rifle hanging in the background in first act, someone's getting shot on the third act. You
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
now we're at
Exactly.
we're
Yeah.
at the scene where there's a rifle there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something's gonna happen. Yeah.
Or we're in Jaws and we're just paddling on our Lido in the sea, having a great
Uh,
time. Someone is
that's
getting eaten.
impossible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can hear the dun 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 dun
Exactly.
dun.
Like,
Yeah.
because there is, and what I'm starting to see now, especially on like platforms like LinkedIn, there is now like there's a growing group of people that are
Mm,
now actively taking the opposite view, that
mm,
actually know this isn't what it's saying it is, and actually that there are some many
mm,
pitfalls, and that voice
mm,
was quite small only maybe even 2 months ago.
mm.
But now I'm
You mean the
seeing,
Nobel Prize winner and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and even from a kind of our level, like some of the
Mm,
UX practitioners, and where people are advocating for using AI for misplacing customer research and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Only 2 months ago, if you said anything against AI, like
Yeah, yeah.
you were the
You're
outlier.
against progress. Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's like, hang on. Let's have a look at this. So it'd
Yeah.
be interesting to see how this acceleration keeps maintaining
Yeah.
itself,
I
and whether
mean,
or not
yeah,
there's a
in every crisis there's an opportunity, right? So
yeah,
if you are, let's say the market collapses and there's a huge crash, if you have cash, that you want that to happen because
yeah,
you're gonna grow. Um, I think hopefully people like us can benefit from this because like we're following the latest things, we're trying them out, we're learning, we
yeah,
can um, we can benefit from this. Not
yeah,
guaranteed, but we have a good chance. The
yeah,
If you're a student now in university and you're studying copywriting, well, I don't know, let's say something less obvious. Engineering, whatever.
yeah,
It's gonna be hard because I think the first roles that you won't need are the junior ones that
yeah,
that AI can basically do for less than a fraction of your salary, even if your starting salary is very cheap, even compared to an intern.
yeah.
Um, so
I,
so
yeah.
yeah, if I had kids in university now, I would be teaching them as much as I can about AI. I actually
So
offered to my nephew, like, hey, look, let me teach you Replit, so
yeah,
you can gain control at least. Yeah.
there's a I do coaching at the weekends, life saving coaching, and there's
Oh,
one
nice.
kid, our man, that I guess he's maybe 13, 14,
Mm.
and we have breakfast afterwards and all this kind of stuff. And for the last 2 weeks, he's just grilled me on
Yeah.
how to grow a business.
Yeah.
So he's not
Yeah.
talking about tech. He's not talking about product. He's not talking. He's
Yeah.
talking about the components of
The
building
fundamentals. Yeah.
the fun. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what the kids of today need to learn. Like, not
Exactly. Yeah.
not the tooling and all this kind of stuff. It's it's
Yeah.
it's about how do you be a business that puts the other business out of business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And if you think about like I'm sure the educational system changed quite a bit since the
yeah,
80s or 90s when we went.
maybe.
But like the stuff we were taught super useless in general,
Yeah,
and we're not taught even basic things as like how to take care of yourself, good nutrition, like how to
yeah,
take care of your finances, like things
yeah,
like as an adult, you are key things. You but we were taught like the date of this war that you're never gonna remember, and you could always look it up even before Google.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I have no clue what's gonna happen to the education system now. I think it's gonna be AI based
Well,
in a few years.
yeah. I mean, so we've got potentially someone who will come on and talk to us about that, who works in the
Oh,
education system here,
nice.
and has started using Replit and gone, but
Oh
wow,
yeah,
how can I change
yeah,
the classroom experience here?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I agree. I think the education system is probably going to it's probably going to become
Super
more human
disrupted.
oriented. I think, like,
Yeah, no more personalized. Because
yeah, like,
if you
yeah,
have AI, it has infinite patience to
yeah,
you. It can tailor things exactly to you. Like
yeah,
even GPT, the voice mode, the live voice mode. I was trying it months ago, and I was just trying to see how it works. I'm like, okay, correct my accent. Let's say I wanted to sound American, and it would
yeah,
tell me exactly, like, yeah, you pronounce the R this way, but if you're American, you pronounce it this way. So it's the
yeah,
best thing ever to learn. I mean, after you have YouTube, for example, and now it's probably better than school to learn things if
yeah,
you know what to watch.
yeah.
Combined with this, man, it's you can learn anything.
I think so, and I think, like I said, the schooling will probably be more about looking after yourself, your physical health.
Yeah,
Um, Maybe sort of the kind of business study type world will come to the fore a little bit, and the kind of practicalities, the kind of practical based, um, you know, computer science or this kind of stuff. I
yeah,
think that would just drift away. I mean,
yeah.
I'm looking at as part of the report. If we move on to sort of the kind of, or we were just talking about jobs, etc. I
Oh
think it
yeah.
says that
Let me find
all
it.
AI IT related jobs or IT AI related jobs is up like 448%. So astronomical growth in the area of kind of like IT as a domain, but using AI. But
Yeah,
overall, non AI IT jobs was down 9%.
yeah.
So, like, actually, the
It's
polar is just
insane.
literally splitting like that, fragmenting like that at
Yeah,
a huge,
you need to
rapid.
go and yeah, yeah. And entry level engineers fell. I don't know exactly how much, but fell quite a bit.
Yeah,
So because you don't need them, you basically
no,
use AI for that kind of thing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Trying
and
to find the one about the jobs, but the conclusion is basically in terms of jobs, the focus is changing, like you were saying.
mm,
So it's not that AI will do your job, but your job will be done by someone who knows how to use AI plus AI,
yeah, exactly,
right?
yeah,
So you better be that person. So if you are learning, testing all the tools, investing on yourself, then you're probably fine. If you're just like rejecting the change, the change is gonna happen.
yeah,
It's gonna happen no matter what. Like my dad years ago, like would refuse to learn how to use a computer.
yeah,
Like he had like a Pentium 4 or whatever, and he didn't know how to turn it on. Like he had a secretary and he would dictate, oh, put this and that. And then at one point he saw um I think his grandchild using a computer. It was like, okay,
yeah.
I need to learn.
But
And then he
but
started.
it's because I think people mistake it for this is an IT revolution,
Yeah.
and it's not. It's actually how do you what word would you use to encapsulate everything?
It's the same as the internet or mobile phones. It affects everyone.
Yeah,
So it's a social revolution.
yeah,
There's a lot of things that you used to do that you don't do anymore.
yeah,
That you won't do anymore.
yeah.
There's a construction here. Can you hear it?
Is that a real
Uh,
human or is that artificial?
that's it's an AI construction. Yeah, yeah. They're building
Yeah.
in the metaverse, but somehow it's so real.
I just want to feel human again.
Uh, yeah.
This
Um,
this subject is the one that keeps coming up, as doesn't it? Because I keep having these conversations. Oh, AI is not ready to take our jobs yet, and like you
yeah,
said, uh, not necessarily you as a person, but if you can't use this stuff, then you will be redundant.
yeah. You're gonna be, yeah, yeah. I mean, people don't realize how much AI can do and how much the quality is improving. Like
Yeah,
already, so they did this Turing test. Turing test for people who don't know is if you can, they used to say that if you talk to a machine and you can't tell if it's a machine or a human,
yeah,
then they pass the test and it's close to AI.
yeah,
And they always keep like increasing the bar because we've reached that years ago.
yeah,
With GPT already 75% of the time people don't realize it's a machine.
yeah,
So, people think, oh, AGI is this crazy thing. It's not that far. AGI means that the machine is better than most humans in most cognitive tasks. So
yeah.
that's not that far. Like just ask
So,
about anything. It's better than us.
well, this is it. Like uh, we've talked about this before. Like, what is a job that would be the last thing that I don't know AI would touch? And it's difficult to think of things because
Yeah.
there's always a way of optimizing something or creating a better version of what there's there already. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess the guy that's banging up stairs seems like he's probably got work for
This
a
guy,
while.
well, I mean, there's cheap labor, so that it's probably not going to be replaced by Optimus anytime soon by the
No.
Tesla bots. But this is a very good segue to something else I can show you. Let me find the
Okay.
slide. Oh, which one is it? Let me see. So basically, AI is already. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find a good slide for this. Oh, never mind. AI is already um, affecting like the real world.
Yeah.
Where is it? Real code generation. I'm just gonna get it now. Basically, where is it? Man, never mind. This is what I was talking about Vive presenting. So we're not ready. We're just trying to find things. It's a
Put vibe in
conversation.
front
You
of
sit
anything,
down
it's
and as
fine.
if you're talking to friends. Yeah.
Exactly.
Um, so the AI is pushing the development of physical world AI
Yeah.
massively. So the number of miles covered by Tesla like self-driving cars went up 100 times since
Wow.
all of these developments in AI. So it's fueling all of these like real world implement applications.
Yeah.
So the last time they showed this Tesla Optimus, I think is the name of the robot, they faked it. So they had humans controlling them in a party, and it was like a whole scam. But they're getting you see a lot of AI robots that are already very impressive, and they're
Yeah.
they're doing things that are like that humans, you know, that humans do, like getting an eggshell and like breaking it, and like it's insane. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I think what we're articulating there is, like you said, it's breaking into the real world. So, and
yeah,
again, this goes back to people that go, "Oh, this is AI is the thing I prompt ChatGPT, or AI is the thing that sits in the IT domain." But actually, you can in the future realistically expect to have your dentistry done through AI, to have
yeah,
organs removed using. I mean, we're there already.
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna
The
be more
self-driving cars.
precise, less. It won't get tired. It won't sneeze in the
So
middle of a surgery. You know,
yeah, I know.
it won't get
Yeah, yeah.
tired.
It
Yeah.
does make you think, what is there left for us to do?
So
Like, what is
I,
even a hobby these
yeah.
days?
So one of the things that, yeah, yeah, honestly, I mean, for me, this is a hobby.
Yeah,
But one of the things that the report says is basically every time there's like a major technological advance like this. So this is like comparable in according to some people to like an industrial revolution. This is like the AI revolution. It's gonna
Yeah.
affect everyone. Usually, when that happens, there's like there are more jobs than there were before.
Yeah.
Like this, they create new opportunities. But what it doesn't say, and I think happens, is there's an adaptation period in which I don't know. You used to have when you would call someone decades ago, you would have to talk to an operator and she would connect you.
Mm.
So when that got automated, then a lot of people were out of a job. Those people take a few years to find where they fit again.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna happen. There's gonna be whatever 2 5 years of a lot of entry level, like a generation of kids, the generation of kids who had their primary school graduation over Zoom during the pandemic is
Gosh.
getting screwed again because
I
they're not
know.
gonna be able to. They're not gonna be able to find a job for years. I think they're gonna have to
Well,
learn, and maybe a lot of innovation will come from that. They will build stuff, you know,
well, that's
using
it, and
AI.
like you say, that it will force them into do it. Their hands will be forced. Like it's either that or
Yeah,
starve. And I know we might sound a little bit like dramatic,
yeah,
but when
yeah,
you're forced to have to figure out how you can live and all this kind of stuff, that's
yeah,
that's where the next curve will probably likely be.
yeah,
But so
yeah,
so what we've talked about, like kids and stuff, like so people in our situation, probably mine's more so than yours at the moment.
mm,
Like in a world where it's coming for you,
mm.
I wake up in
Oh
the
yeah.
morning, I feel this kind of anxiety constantly. Like, am
I
I
mean,
going fast enough?
product people. Oof.
Done for.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
just
If you,
don't.
if you, as a product person, the only thing you do is write user stories,
Yeah,
learn
yeah.
something new. Yeah,
Well, exactly.
it's
Yeah.
scary. Yeah.
So should
Which I'm not
people?
saying that that's what product people do, but some.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Please
Yeah.
don't, because yeah.
Yeah.
The whole podcast is predicated on the fact that we're much more intelligent than that. Um,
Yeah.
but should people in work now be, because starting a business takes time, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you've got there. I'm
I've
trying to get
been, yeah,
there. You're probably looking at 12 to 18 months worth of failed attempts and all this kind of
for
stuff.
sure. For sure.
So should people be getting out now to pour all their efforts into building their own thing? Like school kids have got one pathway. They've almost got
Yeah.
time, right, to react because they haven't yet got to be earning money. But people who are earning money now, that's maybe
Yeah.
still got 20 years left of their career, in my
Yeah.
mind, they should be thinking about
Yes.
building businesses.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And also the scary part is, for example, there's a lot of companies that were doing this, like my startup is in fashion e-commerce. There were a bunch of products that were doing this virtual try-on. You take a picture of yourself and it puts the clothes on you. You see how
Yeah,
Google just launched that.
yeah,
Like, oh, now we're just gonna do it. So all of these companies are screwed,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So some major like big company might go into your terrain also. So as a company, you're not safe either.
No,
So you need to like already think what company might go into my space and how do I customize and build a moat around it to avoid that. So it's not even, yeah. One thing we discussed earlier is it's becoming easier to build stuff.
mm-hmm,
So you differentiate by having like community, right? Like
mm-hmm.
a way to acquire like cost efficiently your users. So if I was someone like supposed to be disrupted, I would start doing that.
Yeah.
Start doing like us. That's what we're doing here, no?
It,
Also, we have fun, but you know,
yeah, it
uh,
is. I suppose the more kind of aggressive question is, like, should you be prioritizing that right now? Like,
mm,
it's difficult to build companies and also be working and all this kind of stuff. So, in a world
yeah,
where your horizon may be in employment, may be coming
Yeah.
further and further and closer, should you be actually reprioritizing your time to start building those things? Like you said, like for those who don't know or not on our WhatsApp chat, which
Yeah,
is
like on your
just
free
you, me, and
time.
Stuart,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
constantly posting an idea that we've got, and then 10 minutes later, Google have come and done it. So
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
that kind of like time, if you like, is really getting shorter and shorter. Like you have to, I think you have to be kind of acting now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, also you can build products around the things you like, right? Like
Mm,
take it as a hobby. If you're into sports, you can build an app about sports, and you probably have some insight that other people don't have.
yeah,
So for me, the key thing is use the tools, learn them. Eventually, something will come out of it. Um, and also, if you have stuff to show, eventually you can show at work. Like, oh, look, I built this or I automated this whole thing, and then you start getting into being the AI, the guy who knows AI at
yeah,
work.
yeah,
Because one thing is you can learn everything. Your knowledge might be amazing, but if you want to get a job, you need to show something that you've done. Like people are
yeah,
not going to give you a job because they're like, hey, I know everything. I know how to use Replit. I don't know how to do this. So you need like live examples of
So you're
things that are
saying
working.
that um, the last man standing is the guy or gal
Yeah,
that knows this stuff. So in a world where the
yeah,
companies are, make no bones about it, they are shrinking in size.
oh yeah,
In terms of their kind of infrastructure and workforce
for sure.
deliberately. The ones
Yeah,
that will be last out the door will be the ones that know the most about this.
yeah. The ones who make the best things with this, not just know, but the ones who are like have the best POCs. And
Yeah,
I really think that I mean it's already happening in tech. Um,
yeah,
like you will need for things that you needed maybe 20 people, you need one. So you need
yeah,
like the maestro, the orchestrator who's like has a bit of a general knowledge and can build things, automate, um, maybe one or two people, but that's it. Um, so some companies will use the chance to grow and continue hiring, but a lot of companies will improve their margins. They're gonna just decide to make more money, which is fair. They're a company, right? Um, so yeah.
yeah. It's
On
a
that
difficult
note,
steer, isn't it? Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, where do we go from here? It's
yeah,
a tough one. I think everyone's going to have their own path, but
yeah. But
I
that's why
I
we do
say
the
this to people
podcast.
around me. Sorry.
That's why we do the podcast, right? We're trying to like inspire people and give them a few tips and try this, try that, so you can build your own things.
Mm,
Like you can build, tools for your company or you already work, so you're known as the AI guy or girl, or you can build your own business or whatever.
do you think AI has a gender? Probably shouldn't answer that question.
Agenda,
Yeah.
an agenda, yes, it has an
Yeah.
agenda, which is rule the world. We're ready.
What was that story
Uh,
that we were talking? I heard where there was an AI that was trying to expose one of the users in some way. Like,
yeah, yeah. Apparently, so both OpenAI and Anthropic, they do this test where they take it to an extreme and they like remove all of the limits and just to test how it reacts if it acts morally, and they basically threaten the AI to like terminate it. And
yeah,
like one OpenAI model basically found a way to not get shut off.
yeah,
And this Claude one was blackmailing the engineer with a fake story, no?
yeah,
To expose the extramarital love affair that he had, which was a story they had fed the AI, but it basically reacted that way.
yeah.
Um, and it's just starting.
This, this is what I mean. Like, whose side are
Yeah.
we really on? I don't really know yet.
Uh, no, but what's interesting is like it's the like self-preservation instinct, right?
Yeah,
Because at the end it's code, so why would it have that? So it learned that in the training, I guess, right?
Well, yeah, but
Because
then
we
if
have
you,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you think about self-preservation, like remember that film? What was it? Is it War Games?
Oof,
Like
that's very old.
very, I
I,
know, right? I know.
yeah,
I think it's
yeah,
War Games, but it. But we talked earlier about the race in AI being between the US and China.
yeah,
Why does that race exist? Because there's a huge amount of power and
oh
and
yeah,
and money behind that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
why would not every other nation in the world want a slice of that? And then it
yeah,
becomes almost like a race to the dominance of
yeah,
another resource. Like water was
yeah,
once the most valuable thing in the world, probably still is, but um,
yeah,
and how then like these AI, you fracture into
yeah,
parts of the world, how they go and protect themselves and how that escalates
yeah.
and all of that stuff.
There's
So
I don't know if you watched I sent a video. I think everyone should watch it. There's like a realistic scenario or like a plausible scenario of how things can go by like 2030.
yeah,
And it does, it basically uses like a fake name for OpenAI and one for DeepSeek,
yeah,
and it explains like what could happen and what the models can do and China and so on. It's super interesting. I'm gonna maybe share the link later.
definitely we
Um,
should. Yeah,
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 because at the end of the day, like these AI innovations can be like it can be an arms race because it fuels like the military also. So
yeah.
as a country, like you want to be the number one, because otherwise you're becoming vulnerable to your enemies.
Well, this was my point. Is actually it becomes a defense in itself.
Yeah,
Um, I think we've just discussed weaponizing AI, which is probably
we're
a
just giving
topic
it,
we.
we're
Yeah,
giving it ideas.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, cool. Maybe try that next. I don't know.
Should that be our next project?
Replit builds some
Just
kind
kidding.
of
Yeah, I
warhead.
wonder what madman we can get as a guest for that.
I've got a few ideas.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think yeah, the summary of this or the lesson here I think should be your AI is not going to take your job. Your job is going to be taken by someone who knows how to use AI. So be that one, be that person. Like learn, watch our podcast, and try the stuff. And then you'll be safe.
yeah. Uh, Opportunities to look at are maybe somewhere in the physical world as well. How can you use AI
Mm.
to benefit? I suppose agriculture came up many times in that report, as well as spaces that
Yeah,
could benefit from it. Medicine,
yeah, for
I've
sure.
worked at huge
The
pharmaceuticals.
research.
Yeah, the research loop can be just sped up, magnitudes
Yeah,
faster.
uh,
I mean, if you can imagine if COVID happened again and we had to find a vaccine,
I would be way faster now. Yeah.
yeah,
And during COVID, it was already like a huge innovation because they developed the vaccine without having the actual virus.
yeah.
So that was
So
already huge.
the
Now it
research,
would take a fraction of the time.
yeah, if you plug that all across the chain, so research into the
Yeah,
manufacturing, into the
yeah,
distribution,
yeah. No, I
you
mean
know,
this. There can be a future that is incredible, where there's like
mm,
no disease, very efficient food production, dealing with climate change and so on. What the thing is, the, what I think will happen is if there's a lot of unemployment and that has an impact on consumption, it doesn't have a huge impact on the big companies that have like the power. Those companies are not in all the countries. So I think there's going to be more inequality probably, especially in like developing countries that won't have like the capacity or the money to even give like a basic income. You know, like if suddenly all the jobs can be done by AI, the rich countries can be give like a basic income. Everyone's happy, and stop disease and in a optimistic future. But the poor countries won't have that surplus, the surplus to do that. So what's gonna happen to them?
Well,
There's gonna be two different worlds.
this is it. We're here in the UAE now, right, where the government has just announced that every citizen will be able to benefit from free use of OpenAI.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
that those are the sorts of initiatives that are going to catapult regions ahead of others. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, be lucky, people. Be lucky as to where you are, and yeah, know this stuff. But
yeah.
okay, so we plow on. So we haven't abandoned AI, is what we're saying.
No, no,
Um,
no.
we may have a few moments or blips along the line where we talked about before this on the pod, where there may be a few mini resets.
Mm.
Like I think the kind of the thinking that I was thinking is like, you remember Napster? That was the
Yeah,
big thing, and then
uh,
Spotify came along and kind of reset again, and
yeah,
there may be a few of those. Um,
yeah. It's also like the big like internet bubble, in beginning of the millennium. There's so much expectation that suddenly all of these companies that are growing a lot of users are not making that much revenue, so all the investment pulls away, and you have a crash. I think that's likely to happen also here because they invested like $100 billion in AI companies. The
mm,
revenue doesn't justify that yet. It's growing like crazy, so it might soon. But it's also possible that at one point Wall Street gets impatient and there's a bit of a crash, and
yeah,
then it goes up again. Like the fact that there was a crash, like an internet bubble crash, doesn't mean that everyone internet is in everything now.
yeah.
So those like resets, like you were saying.
Well, this is it. It doesn't feel so much like we're kind of observing let's call it a revolution or whatever it is. It's
Yeah.
actually it's now we're living through it. It's actually
Yeah.
how we just keep adjusting to each of the different blips along the way, and
Yeah.
like you said, those kind of like intrusions, Wall Street, and all that kind of stuff. The
Yeah.
impatience that it's how do you deal with that, and what's the
Yeah.
response?
And
How
be
much
ready for
stronger?
it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
be ready for it for sure. And I think, uh, yeah,
Yeah.
if that is
Like,
one message you take from our podcast, it's like get on board with. Even if you're not going to build stuff,
yeah.
learn how it
Learn it.
works. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Find someone who can teach you, or go on YouTube. Ask GPT to teach you. Basically, like you have access to all the knowledge in the world now.
yeah.
Uh, and about if there's a bubble crash and stuff like that, yeah, save 3 months of emergency fund of living costs. The rest you can invest, but be ready because it might
Think
come.
that's. I'm thinking about that now. Not from like a film point of view, like a world's ending type thing, but actually
Yeah,
like if you have 3 months, then you can afford to come out of employment to start
yeah,
focusing on something that
yeah,
you will actually
exactly,
like fulfill you and fund
exactly,
you later on. And
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, being
okay,
replaced by someone who knows AI, like you lose your job. If you're ready, if you saved a few salary, like monthly living costs and so on, it's also an opportunity. You'll have the time to go and build something, and
mm,
uh, so it's hard. It's hard to you see it on our podcast. Like we build the product, super impressive. Then but now we need users, and so you need to fill all of those gaps. But it is doable. A lot of people do it. It's more doable now than any time in history.
exactly. There was commentary recently where they said that in 2 years' time, the buzzword will be around basically scrapping all of the half-built products that are literally drowning the internet
Yeah, yeah,
and our compute. Um, but yeah. So if I think I feel like you've got 2 years to start making some money
Yeah,
before you're competing against everyone in the world.
yeah, yeah,
And the
yeah,
businesses that you build now will probably be dead in 2 years. So make sure you
yeah,
get in now, create some surplus income so that you can be prepared
yeah,
for what comes next.
yeah. True.
This turned into something else, didn't it? It was more dystopian than I ever thought.
Yeah. It's like we're talking to a friend, man. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right.
I
Uh,
bet.
yeah.
Cool.
No, I really think, I mean, I think it's gonna be amazing, but people need to be ready because there's gonna be an adaptation, and you don't want to be, it's a bit like if you're older, suddenly the world changes and you can't find, you're unemployable
Yeah, yeah,
because no one will hire you. You don't want to be like that.
for
So
sure.
yeah.
Cool. Well, lovely walking through that report with you, Gus.
So
Um,
so
I
let's not end it on a sad note.
no, I think we
We're
should.
all imagining ourselves.
I think we should share the link to the report on in the comments or however we do
Yeah,
it, and that
yeah,
video that you've
yeah,
shown
and the
as well.
video. Yeah,
That
that
would be
video is
quite cool.
very entertaining. Like I want someone to make a movie. Well, we can make it with AI.
Nice.
Have you seen VO3? The new Google,
I have you
oof,
used it?
amazing. You have to pay
Yeah,
quite a bit. Um,
I looked at it, but
no,
yeah, that
but
put
it's
me
it's
off.
cool because it has sound now. So I've seen very impressive videos.
Yeah,
It's gonna be very tricky with like fake content now, like scams and stuff like that, especially for
yeah.
older people. So get
Ooh.
ready.
Oh, there's an opportunity.
You want to scam old people? What could be our next one?
I was thinking about how we protect old
That is a
people,
joke.
but
Disclaimer, that's a joke. Yeah.
but yeah, like yeah. Okay, let's talk about that
No,
another
but I
time.
really think there's gonna be popular products to kind of filter out all of this AI content
Mm,
from emails, WhatsApp, like there's tells. Like
yeah,
if I get a message that's full of emojis or it has like those like little bar kind of
M
symbol,
dash,
I don't know how it's called, the dash,
M
that no one
dash.
uses that. So it's
Mm,
AI or hashtags or whatever. So
yeah,
so there's gonna be ways to predict if it's AI, and then you can like filter that out from your email, from your YouTube, from so that product is gonna exist for sure.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
would pay for it already, I think.
I would pay for it for my
Yeah.
parents.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, someone can create a video with AI of you saying you're kidnapped or whatever, and it's believable. It's insane.
I know. I might make it myself.
You don't need AI
Yeah,
for that. You just
he's
need.
gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, we are
All right.
well over time, but
Well,
good to
yeah, we
share
said we
those
were gonna do
things.
a short one.
Yeah, I know. I
We
know.
just like to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, Noor can show us the automation
Yeah.
of our
No
AI
pressure.
content. No, yeah,
Nor if
exactly.
you're watching, no pressure.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then
Yeah.
we'll be back to building coming forward, and maybe we'll have some new guests to share with you as well. Other
Yeah,
side of the
yeah, we
Eid,
have some.
this Eid break, right?
Happy Eid break for people in
Exactly.
Muslim countries. Enjoy Eid Mubarak, Eid
Yes,
al-Adha. Enjoy your break
you're braver than I. But
and
yeah,
your festivities.
see you on the other side.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.